Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the beautiful hills of Tennessee. Yes, the home of Buford Pusser, Greg Allman, Jeff Quinn, and a whole lot of cool folks, right? Yes, I just want to shoot a little bit. Can I do it? Look what I have. Double barrel, shotgun. Let's blow something up. You want to? How about a 2-liter? How about a red plate? No, how about a target? Boom. Thought I'd just shoot it twice. Boom, boom. That's all you can do. Yes, we're here in Middle Tennessee. It's still gorgeous. We have green leaves out. Those are the best kind, right? Well, not the best kind. They're even prettier in the fall because they're golden and brown and red. And as you know, it's a beautiful place. After 13 years of videos, you can see our woods, our trees, our leaves, any color you want. Just scroll through, right? Yeah, I got out the old Stoeger double barrel. I was in the mood to shoot this. We used it in a video this week, and I was cleaning it just this morning. And I thought, well, used it yesterday in a video. And often, unless it's something that's going to corrode badly, we finish up doing some videos, I'll clean them the next morning. I jump right on them, unless it's a carry gun or something, and I'll clean right away. Or a defensive gun, I'm going to rely on. I clean it immediately. But I will come out the next morning, clean everything. I said, you know what, this morning, I'm in the mood to shoot this some more. We didn't shoot very much in the video. And since I have it out, I went and cleaned it anyway. Simple enough. So this is a Stoeger coach gun, 12 gauge. I use this in cowboy action shooting. This and a Rossi Overland were my two primary shotguns. I guess they're about the only two I used. Yeah. And this was the internal hammers. And it's cool too. I was a little faster with this one with the internal hammers, I think. The rabbit ear hammers, you get to where you can do it pretty quickly, but it's a little bit simpler. Load it, open it up, boom. Yeah, self-cocking. Yeah. So, just a nice shotgun. It's nothing exotic. Many of you have these. If you do action shooting, cowboy action shooting, you might have one. And you may have had trouble with it. I've never had any issues with it. They were, I don't know what they cost now. They never were that expensive. They're just kind of a nice middle of the road shotgun. They're not a cheapie. You don't get the feeling you got this cheap shotgun made in you-know-where or something like that. But anyway, pretty cool. If you're in the mood to shoot it, I'm going to shoot it some more. Okay, a shotgun of all things. Again, whatever I'm in the mood to shoot, that's what I do. Okay, and I've got everything else that I got. Oh man, have I been using the balisol this morning? I had to clean a black powder, well, a Colt single action black powder version. Shot black powder in it yesterday. And it's a project to clean those. It really is. And I've had balisol hands all morning, and I'm still working on it. I'm not totally finished. It's about there now. I mean, it's an old first generation Colt, so yeah, I can get it back down to perfectly clean, right? And then of course Talon grips. I happen to have I have trouble knowing what I'm going to carry. See what I'm carrying now? Hellcat. I go back and forth and pick that thing. I just can't get away from the feel of it and the grip, and I don't know. I really have trouble. I know some of you do too. If you own, well, here's my situation. I own a 642 Smith & Wesson J-frame, well, like the ultimate carry revolver almost in terms of a pocket. A P365. The Hellcat. I have a shield. I have the Glock 43, Glock 43X, and I can name a few others. And in terms of small pistols, okay, and of course the belt holster pistols. Everything from M&P 40 to Glock 19s and 70. All those fire. So. And some great 1911s. I've got the Dan Wesson Guardian. Shot that this week. You probably saw that little short we posted. just some great pistols. And so I know it's, beware the man with one gun, the line. I don't know if it was Cooper that said that first or somebody else, but you really do want to get a firearm you shoot well and stick with it. It's ideal. But I just have several. It's tough to choose from. The thing again, though, I rationalize and justify switching a little bit is that they're all pull and shoot. Okay, they're all pull and shoot. Not like on one, you've got the safety on the right side. On this one, there's this little lever. As you pull it out, you need to get in the right position before it'll fire. Or, I don't have any of that. They're all pull and shoot, except for the 1911. And that's going to be in my belt, a different kind of operation. But anyway, everybody wishes they had that problem. I guess you have so many guns, you don't know what to carry. You're like having so many cars, you don't know which one to drive, I guess, right? That get expensive. Man, I got several things going on I was going to talk about. Let me get to John first. He just gave me his comedy schedule, had some updates on it, and he's really working hard. He's really gotten funny. He really has. It's all in the writing. It's all in what you come up with in your brain, right? But so he'll be at Laughs in Tucson June the 11th and June the 12th. And then also on June the 18th and June the 19th, the next weekend, I guess. He'll be at Rick's Barbecue in Vegas, Las Vegas, on June the 16th, all right? And then he'll be at JP's Comedy Club in Phoenix on July the 16th, okay? So hope you wrote all that down. If you live in any of those areas or you just want to drive to see it, there it is, okay? So, again, this is a Stoeger coach gun, 12 gauge. These are so cool. And this is a firearm that come apart so easily, and you take them apart, take the barrel off, just nothing to them. The way they operate, that it might be something you enjoy someday. I don't know about this one particularly, but a double barrel shotgun is just a cool thing. And, simple. They're like a revolver. You break it open, slip the shells in there, close it up, and pretty much ready to go. Pop the safety off, and you're ready to go. Or if it has hammers, external hammers, you just cock the hammers, and there you go. You are ready. So let's do that. Oh, someone hung a bucket out here. Yeah, all right. Hey, that's great. That makes a great target. Hanging it up like that. I like that. Blow the smoke out of your barrels. You can look right down there and see. So pretty cool shotgun. Oh man, what else was I going to talk? Well, a couple of things. Announcement. I don't know did I tell you all that the riding shotgun. Speaking of shotgun riding, I thought of that with this gun. Riding Shotgun with Charlie, that's his website. Charlie, I rode this winter with him, and we chatted for about an hour, riding along. It's what he does. And just again, wanted to remind you all that that's out there. He posted that on his site a couple weeks ago. And if you want to hear me yak about dumb stuff, for a long time, like we do here, check that out. Maybe I'll put a link to that, okay, in the description. Because I devoted a lot of time. It was a deep snow that day. Went into Nashville, and some of you might want to see it. Okay, he's a good guy. The other thing is the piece we did with Tucker Carlson on the AR-15. They have that together now, and it just posted this week on Fox Nation. You may not be a subscriber. I don't know if you are or want to be. It's easy to subscribe to. But it's on Fox Nation. You've probably seen the promotions if you ever see Fox News or Tucker Carlson or a lot of their shows. They've been advertising it. But it's the AR-15. I don't know what the exact title of it is, but it's about the AR-15. And I looked at, and I was relieved in the sense that it was okay. It was all right. I didn't say anything too stupid. And pretty interesting piece because he talks to some trainers, some serious trainers with the AR-15, and some hog hunters, Texas, I think, and some different things. And then us here, and just having some fun on the range, and so just good. And I don't know how many people will see it that need to see it, but just shedding a little light on what the AR-15 is and how popular it is and some of the purposes of it, and some points about it that all of us in that video who are shooters hopefully made enough semi-intelligent points about it that might provide a little insight for people. I don't know. There were a few things I wish I had said or whatever, but I don't know. All that happened so fast, and it was cold and getting together, and Tucker Carlson and the crew were coming in, and what we're going to do, and there were all these different possibilities that we were maybe going to do. Had stuff set up for them to shoot, literally shoot, gun, and different things, and I was, just a lot of stuff on my mind, and I wanted it to go well for them, and I didn't want to look like a fool. Not on his show. I don't care if I look like a fool here, but anyway, it came off okay. So anyway, so that's out there, and what else? I know one thing I was looking at last week when I was talking about. There were a couple of comments that people didn't seem to understand that business about shouting fire in a crowded theater, because I talked about it too long, right? Yeah, you can shout fire. I mean, either they didn't listen, or I just wasn't clear, and I think I wasn't clear in some ways. What I was trying to draw the parallel again there is that's the old argument. You can't shout fire in a crowded theater, so you don't have total freedoms. You can't have total freedoms with the Second Amendment. You don't have total freedoms with the First Amendment, the speech. So that's the logic people will use quite often. It's one of the most common arguments, shouting fire in a crowded theater. And the reason it drives me crazy all the time. And as I said, yeah, you can shout fire in a crowded theater, but you got to pay the price for that. You maybe broke the law, and caused people to get hurt. Okay, same with firearms. Well, this is not a good example, but like an AR-15. Okay, no, they want to ban us from having a magazine that holds more than 10 rounds, or holds any rounds is what they'd like, but they want to prevent us from buying a magazine that holds 30 rounds. Okay, or they want to prevent us from owning a firearm that is like an AR-15 or like many other firearms. Okay, they want to ban us from even owning them. They don't want to penalize us for misusing them, for committing a crime. That's the difference. I have no problem with being held responsible if I am irresponsible. I commit a crime, with a firearm. If I commit a crime, okay, go and rob the liquor store with it, okay? Throw me in jail, all right? But I may have a master blaster that holds 500 rounds in the magazine. If I'm not committing crimes, leave me alone. That's kind of what I'm saying. If I go into a theater and I keep my mouth closed and I don't shout fire, leave me alone. But see what they want to do, the parallel would be they want to remove this from my possession and yours, or a magazine or an AR, whatever it might be, semi-automatic pistol. They don't want us to even have it, to have the capability of misusing it, okay? Which would be like, before you go into a theater, putting a big piece of duct tape over your mouth and mine so we cannot shout fire. See, that's the parallel I was trying to draw. I didn't do a very good job. I get to rambling, I'm sorry, So they want to preempt our misbehavior when we had no intention of misbehaving. Most people don't. 99% of people don't, right? So that's the point I was trying to make there, that I was a little feeble on, I guess. Assumed too much. Another thing I meant to mention, for weeks now, ever since YouTube, they automatically activated mid-roll ads, basically. And it's usually on longer videos, and that really hits us. A lot of people have short videos, 3, 4, 5 minutes or something. It's not an issue. Maybe they'll have one in there or something, a mid-roll ad. And so they did that, and I got to noticing when I would post one of these, for example, an hour long, well, actually, there were a couple of comments on like the very next one. Wow, look at all the ads. And they were blaming YouTube for it, well, which essentially were to blame, because they were automatically putting a freaking ad every like 5 minutes or something. I mean, And so I went in and disabled those, or I would leave one maybe, you know, in the middle, 30 minutes or something. So just want to let you know that that is because of YouTube doing that. And I haven't seen it. I saw a comment on a video a couple days ago, and I went to that video, and sure enough, it was some revolver video. There were like 3 or 4 or 5 or something on there, and I disabled them, or all but one or something. Yeah, so it's not my attention or our intention to have an ad every 5 minutes, and you shouldn't see that much. If you do, let me know. On some longer or any video, like 5 minutes here pops up an ad, because that's very annoying. Okay, I mean, we all know ads. That's the way of YouTube, and that's how all of us make our living, and that adds to the whole thing. But I don't want to overdo it. Don't want to overdo it. The first thing I do when I post these is, you got to prepare the description, all that kind of stuff, and I go in through and click on monetization, and boom, I have to click on, I'll tell you, and some of you who do long videos, you know what I'm talking about, I have to remember to do that. You would know, because I've got one printed out, and I showed John, and there were 17 ads on a Sunday shoot-around, mid-roll ads, 17 times interrupted. So it runs between 15, 16, 17 ads would appear if I didn't disable them. It's just weird. Yeah. So anyway, just to let you know, if you run across a video, some random old video, it have to be an older one, that's just overdone with that, let me know. Just send me a message or something. I'll go in here and fix it. So, been meaning to mention that. So, what else? That's got a lot of it. Can I shoot it again? Now I brought some. Let's see. I've got a couple old military rounds here. I was going to shoot. It was blowing away on me. My shells are blowing away. I guess these are too hot. These old green. I don't know where I got those. These things have been lying in the barn. 9 pellet double-aught buck. They're just 2 3/4. They should be. I mean, it's a modern gun. You want to be careful with old double-barrel shotguns. You don't know what kind of steel is in it, maybe, and with modern ammo. Okay, let's shoot some double-aught buck. Let's try that bucket again. Put buck on the bucket. All right. How about this gallon jug? I got a 2-liter down the hill behind it. You see that? That's the thing with like double-aught buck. It's like shooting a little bullet. It goes a little further. I'll show you. Let's put a couple over there on the hill. I'll shoot at the gong and see if we can hear it. I heard it, I think. Yeah. I'll shoot the cowboy here. Boom. Yeah, double-aught buck is some mean stuff. No doubt about it. And one thing I've never done in this one, and I have a couple here. I was going to shoot a couple of slugs. Yeah. I have done this. We did a, what was it, not a big game hunt. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. But I might. It was a slugfest, famous, well, not they're famous, but our infamous slugfest, shotgun slugfest that I love doing. We did one of those, about a year ago with a double barrel. I guess it was with my Rossi Overland. Wasn't this one, was it? I don't think so. That was fun, and actually it shot better than I would have expected with slugs. I think because it's a side-by-side, you just don't feel like, as far as sighting like a rifle that you can hit as well, but it surprised me. This one might not. This might surprise me in how terrible I can shoot it. So, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure I didn't use this one in that video. I think it was the Rossi. Let's try, let's just throw one at the gong, see where it hits. Why not? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Got it. All right. It's been my experience that without a fancy sight, with just a bead, shotguns, even if it's a pump shotgun, they'll tend to shoot a little high. with even birdshot. You tend to print and pattern a little bit high, and some of them really high. And so the first shot, I didn't see any. Again, just trying to show you the genius you're dealing with here. The incredible skills I have in just figuring things out logically. So based on my experience, okay, that first one didn't hit it, and I didn't see it hit the dirt. There's dirt beneath that gong. Okay, so I thought probably going high. Okay? And this is something that I do. If you're trying to walk the rounds up to something, makes sense. I was reminding John of that in a video he did recently, where he was having trouble hitting the gong with a shotgun slug, and it was a shotgun we hadn't shot that much, and was missing, but I was filming, and we weren't seeing any dirt, so I wanted to tell him, remind him. But what I do pretty quickly is, if I'm not hitting anything out there, it depends on the target, but I mean, for most targets, if you're shooting low, you can usually see it, stirring up the leaves or a little dirt, depending on the season, but you'll see it hitting there, eventually. If you shoot 2 or 3 times and you're going low on all of them, you can probably tell. Think about that at your range where you shoot outdoors, if you shoot outdoors. And so rather than just keep, banging away too long, I just bring it down. I'll exaggerate. Okay, if I miss, I want to see it in the dirt. I want to miss low, then I can kind of gauge and walk it on back up. So just a little tip that, again, I'm not going to invoice you for that. So anyway, I've read too much Elmer Keith. Back in the day, he would actually bring the cows in, herd cattle with his 44 or 357, but 44. They'd be on a far hill over there, and he would just like shoot behind them and land bullets in the dirt, and I guess it would startle them enough to where they would move in the other direction. I don't recommend that, okay? I'm just telling you what Elmer Keith did. And it's one reason I'm so weird. I've read too many people like that. So what else? Yeah, I had a lot of kind of announcement type things. I wanted to make sure I got out there yeah, okay. That was it pretty much. Thing I wanted to catch up with. And I don't know how you're doing on the gas shortage. Hopefully getting slowly back to normal now. But it's an interesting situation. Another lesson, right? In a lot of ways for our politicians and all of us, though, that how fragile really the system is. You can get right down to it. Well, or how strong the system is. The network and the infrastructure, we don't normally have issues. But then again, it can be fragile, can it? If it's attacked or something happens, what it really is how fragile our life can be, based on all that, how easily we could lose access to electricity or to fuel, that kind of thing. We just take it for granted, yeah. And it's been something I've talked about a long time, I guess, how I've observed, you preppers really observe that, right? It's what leads some people to be more serious preppers, just realizing what it takes for everything to just run smoothly, as it does generally, right? If I run over the grocery, I need to go get some ketchup, or we're out of mayonnaise, or you're going to get some soft drinks, or a 6-pack of beer, or I need to go gas up the truck, or I need to go get some diesel fuel for the tractor. We don't really think about it other than, so when am I going to do that? Let me go do it. And I do that all the time. I had some cans. I go get diesel fuel for my tractor, or for the 4-wheeler, go get a can of gasoline, lawnmowers, or you run and get some ammo. There you go. There's an example, right? So we just don't think about it. Some soup, pick up some soup. You're gonna make a big long grocery list. I'm gonna stop by the grocery this afternoon and various things I want to pick up. Our main concern is just remember to pick everything up that we need to get. That's our main concern generally, right? But we don't often think about all of the systems in place, all of the people. Think of all the the busy people every day that are the reason that mayonnaise is on that shelf and it's well stocked at your local grocer, right? And that the gasoline is in those tanks, what it takes to get it there. Yeah, it has to be pulled out of the ground, crude oil or whatever, and refined and stored, and then sent through a pipeline or via a truck. System companies, transportation companies, figure out, where it needs to go on what days and how much fuel is used in this area, this sector, this station, and can we get there on time to keep them, in fuel and all of those things, or the pipeline we had the problem with, who knew? It was so relying on on computers and that kind of thing, and going all the way across the country almost, and supplying so many different cities, and we just don't think about it. But so many things have to work. I guess the point is, so many details, I's have to be dotted and T's have to be crossed. So many people have to show up for their work and do things correctly in order for our life to be normal, like it is, right? For things to go well. For me to post this video right now, the camera has to work, right? But I need power, upload to the computer, the rendering program's got to work. YouTube has got to be working to upload videos. They have to have electricity for that. All their servers and everything have to be working, no glitches, and I mean, so many things have to work properly, and we take that for granted. And and in the cities, I saw some stuff about the the rising crime rate in a lot of different places. That's another thing. I think my battery's getting low, is it? I just saw a message flash. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut and change out my battery, and I'll try not to lose my thought, okay? And I'll be right back with a fresh battery. Okay, I'm back with a fresh battery. Now, does it make me look any better? Yeah, I didn't think so. So anyway, we're getting close to maybe being due a new camera. I don't know. This is such a great camera. This Canon series, this is an XA30, I think, XA30. It's just been great cameras. They have such a great zoom on them too, as you know. And I think John discovered on the XA40 that the zoom wasn't quite as good. So, but maybe the XA30, we're about due to kind of upgrade a little bit. The batteries don't seem to fit. They're not charging. Sometimes I notice unless I jiggle them a little bit and get them in there tighter. So we've had this one for, I don't know, gosh, maybe 3 years. I don't know. It's just been a great camera. And the one before that was the same camera, XA25 or whatever. They're just a great camera. We don't have a big giant professional camera. Just a nice camera. We don't want to look. We don't want the resolution to be too clear, right? But anyway, what was I talking? Yeah, how things work. We take for granted how things are just working in systems. Yeah, I was going to mention, the defunding the police, for example. If we create a situation where, then again, everybody's had a bad experience with a cop, of course, or a teacher, or a nurse, or a doctor, whoever, is kind of telling you what to do, no doubt about it. I've had a couple, but by and large, their cops are just your neighbor, your uncle, your dad, your son. They're just good folks, and if we take for granted that thin blue line, as it's called, between us and chaos, anarchy. And we're seeing some of that going on too. We take for granted the reason in most areas you can feel fairly safe. There's no 100% safety, right? That's why some of us, we know we're our own first responders, actually. But the thing that holds the wolf at bay is knowing there are consequences, and there are people who will be showing up, with heavier artillery and more power if necessary to take care of anything that gets too far out of hand, right? So we sort of take that for granted as well, don't we? And we're seeing in some cities and some places where that's being reduced, and it's having an impact. Yeah, it really is. So, and I'm a little concerned that it could get a lot worse because we have demonized that profession. At least the media has, and certain politicians have demonized that profession to the point where, people who, beforehand might have been considering police work, good people considering, police work maybe, and really, interested in that as a career and helping people and everything. To say, you know what, I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to go do something else. I don't want people looking down on me, So anyway, same kind of deal. We take for granted why things work the way they do. It's not automatic. A lot of people being in position, being in place, and doing their job is why the world works reasonably well. At least our country and our society works reasonably well. So not always, but reasonably well, right? So anyway, we need to appreciate the people that help make it work right, and the systems out there, and all the busy bees that make things work well. Man, it can just in a heartbeat. Again, it's why it's such good advice to be able to just on a moment's notice to just someone say hibernate, but just sit tight for a week if you have to, or a month. Like if you just roll the dice and say, okay, here's how many minutes you had to prepare, or hours, or whatever, and maybe it's 5 minutes. Okay, in 5 minutes the power is going out. There's not going to be any gasoline. And that's it. There's not going to be any deliveries to your house. There's not going to be any food. No need to go to the grocery. How long can you get along? So everybody should have enough. The Red Cross and everybody else, mainstream media even knows that, and they advocate, having a week's worth of food and water or something. But yeah, it could happen in a heartbeat. What if the grid went down? You ever think about that? If the power, I sound like a prepper, right? I guess I have a little prepper in me. If the grid went down, the power grid, like right now, don't think you can run to the grocery. Oh, I better run to the grocery and stock up. By the time you get to the parking lot of the grocery, there will be how many cars? About 8,000, where everybody in your county had the same thought. The power's not on, their cash registers don't work. They're going to have the doors closed. It's not like the old days where I remember going into power failure maybe, and they'd be writing things up on a paper sack, and doing the math and selling you. They don't do that anymore. They do the barcodes. None of that's working. You're not going to be able to buy anything, And so, there's no need even getting in the car. Gas pumps aren't going to work. It's just, so you're at your house or apartment, you are there with whatever you have. So it's good plan to have a little water, some soup. You don't have to be an absolute prepper, but to have some water and some canned goods, some tuna, or just whatever to get you through for a week or two. That's just common sense as far as I'm concerned. Common sense, which we all don't have, and sometimes even I don't. What do you want me to shoot? Oh, we've got another couple of 2-liters that need to feel the sting of some birdshot. Again, if you've never fired a break action shotgun, there's probably a lot of you out there who have not. Some of you with some really cool guns. You may have a couple of really nice AR-15s, some cool carry pistols. You got a pump shotgun. Maybe you have a Benelli M4. But you've not even fired anything like this. This is an old man gun. This is a FUD gun or something. This literally is a Elmer FUD gun, isn't it? And so you just don't have any experience with it. Well, they're cool. They're cool. It may not be what you would have for home defense, or it might be, but they're just neat. The simplicity of it is so much like a revolver. I got him while he was down. Yeah, they're so manual, and of course they take you back into history, and simple to clean, fun to shoot. I have to say, I've had a lot of double barrel shotguns, And have I ever had one that was not a coach gun? I don't think so. Where I don't hunt, almost all the shotguns I have ever owned, and I've owned a lot of them, and I have several shotguns, probably 10, 12, I don't know. And they're virtually all short barrel. If they're like this, a coach gun, they're short. My pump shotguns are 18, 20 inches. Benelli M4's what, 19, 18 inches or something. I mean, the Mossberg 590. I guess I have one long-barreled shotgun, and that would be, ironically, the percussion gun, right? The Pedersoli percussion, gun. So cap lock, and so anyway, they're just neat. They're just neat. Don't let people intimidate you into, like, it could work both ways. You may have friends, you're into guns, just who you are, what age you are, where you live, your environment. Like, don't let people talk you out of, like, the evil black guns, whether it's a Glock or an M&P or a SIG or an AR-15. You're not necessarily against them, but mainly you go shoot skeet, and you enjoy revolvers. You just haven't ventured over into those guns. Maybe you are older. But don't let people talk you out of those. They're a lot of fun. Great defensive firearm. I mean, the ultimate defensive firearms. Lots of fun. So reliable. Work so well. Likewise, don't let people talk you out of things like this by trying to intimidate you with accusations of being a FUD if you've got anything that's wood and steel, or anything that just holds 2 rounds, or the actual gun Elmer Fudd would carry, the cartoon carry that it's all based on, right? They're neat guns. They're just cool. Like a single shot rifle, as I've told you, is just as much fun really as an AR-15. Like a Sharps, and most of you know that, and most of you do know that. I'm not just giving false compliments, because I see comments on those videos. These videos, guns like this, and I mean so many, and I can tell often it's young people that just think they're cool, and really are thinking or wishing they had one, and that's refreshing. It really is. So, like most things, that segment of people who are into calling everybody a FUD or everybody a ninja warrior, like I do sometimes, mall ninjas. It's a small segment really of people that are gun bigots. How's that? I think I coined that one. Gun bigots. I've been using that one for a long time. So lots of cool guns. Don't be narrow-minded. Don't let your head get squeezed into where it's really narrow, right? Be accepting of others who think differently, right? And of firearms that look different, okay? They look different. They don't really look differently because they don't have eyes, okay? It's a little grammar lesson there. Like in, I feel bad, don't say I feel badly, because you don't feel badly. You feel bad, meaning sick, right? If you feel badly, that means you're really bad at feeling things. Gosh, I do need to invoice you all for this additional information I provide. Okay, what else? Anything else? Do I have any advice? I don't know. Yeah, I have a little advice. Oh man, speaking of some of that, we talk too much, and I do too, sometimes, but I'm philosophizing a little bit about racism and all that kind of thing. Somebody said, I think it was Ralph Waldo Emerson, that computers will be truly useful when we can quit talking about them. Now that was a line, it wasn't Emerson, okay, for those more gullible among you. That was something I talked about more often, and I'm not sure who actually said that, but I ran across it somewhere back in the 80s, because we really were obsessed about microcomputers, and laptops, and it was getting them to work right, and can we use them for this? And it was those early days. But those of us who are on the bleeding edge of that technology, we were constantly talking about, can we use them for this? Should kids have them? Who should have access? How many do we have? We were trying to get computers for this medical program or whatever. Well, all of that has settled out now. They work better. They're more reliable. They're as small as they need to be. Incredibly reliable. All the functions, all the memory, basically, we really need probably, practically. And they just work, so we can quit talking about them. We just use them. It's like obsessing about the engine in your car or something. You just get in and drive. You don't have to be obsessing about that, whether it's working today and then what side where do I get, how they work, all that kind of, how do you use them, how do you save things. We can quit talking about that, really, largely. But I was in on the early days where I was obsessed. I was actually not only learning myself, but trying to teach other people. And kind of crazy time. But that's a great concept, though. And whoever said that, it wasn't Emerson. And if I need to explain why it was not Emerson, I need to have a chat with you. Because we end up doing that about a lot of things. When a computer is truly used, that's kind of what's happened. And I really did live through that. I started was one of the key players in starting a laptop program in middle school for all students, and it carried on from 92, 93 on up till still there, of course, as in a lot of schools. And then, and I was still teaching the same grades and the same kids level, 15 years later, 20 years later, and they're still all coming to my class. They all have a laptop. And instead of having to occupy so much of my time with, okay, what's wrong with it now? Why won't it work? Oh, you got your floppy stuck in the drive, and you got all these different things, and teaching people how to save a file. It got to the point where I rarely talked about it. They just had their laptop, and I would just, let's use a laptop for this, or pull out your laptop and do this. And I've saved this on the drive. We had local area network drives where I've got this document for you and different things. And when you finish this, upload it and save it. So it just became, we didn't have to talk about it, just to do it. We talked about the material. We got to where we could talk about the material and didn't have to talk about the mechanics of the stupid computer or the drives or the server and all that. So they truly became useful because they became invisible or seamless in a lot of ways, like they are now. And that's the thing that bothers me about all this talk about everybody's a racist. Racism will not be a thing of the past until we can stop talking about it. Does that make sense? I see a parallel there. You might disagree, but and I thought we were there. I think we were, actually. It's mainly the media and the politicians that keep it alive, because most people, they don't see, when they look at you or me, I don't think most people look at you and think, oh, there's a white man, there's a black man, oh, there's a Christian, oh, there's a Jew, or whatever your religion is. They see you as a person. At least I do. Am I naive? I just see people as people. And I don't have a negative or a positive impression of them until they give me one, right? And unless they have an attitude of some sort that's undesirable, then I don't have a negative vibe from that person of any kind. And I don't care what religion or race or gender they are. If they have a sore attitude or something toward me or toward the world, and they're undesirable to hang out with, then I don't care who they are. I don't like them. I don't want to be around them. I don't hate them, but I have no desire to be around them. And by the same token, if they, pretty cordial and open conversation and just a nice person to hang around with, who cares about any of the other stuff? Again, race, gender, religion, none of that matters, see? And so again, it's the politicians, it's the media that want to keep us separated and divided so that they can provide the solutions, and get votes from these individual groups, So anyway, I don't know if that means anything, but again, bigotry, like the computer. We quit talking about it. When we can quit talking about it, it'll be not an issue anymore. Just like the problems with computers. I mean, we got past all that. We are past all that. It's just so stupid that we let media keep it alive for us, and politicians, to anybody who can gain from it, and that'd be the media, to get attention and drama, create drama, and same with politicians. They want to create drama and a problem so they can get the votes from those people, get the clicks, and get their support. Well, I'll save you somehow, okay, from this other evil group, whatever that other evil group is. So and I don't have any answers other than it is mostly politicians and media that keep it going, and that also we need to ignore it and be aware of it. I guess is the reason I even talk about it sometimes. It's just we need to be aware of that. It's really not that bad. That it just seems that bad, okay, because they won't let it rest, whoever they are. Again, the media, politicians. Someone has something to gain from it, right? Because, if you're in media or you're a politician, your goal is to get attention and to get votes. If you're in the media, is to get clicks, right? Get eyeballs. So almost everybody, including us, anybody's doing YouTube videos on the news tonight, today, is running for office, they're vying for attention, okay? And we like to think we're mostly doing it with information, interesting firearms. The guns, the firearms are the stars, of our videos, and we're featuring firearms and then just rambling about stupid stuff, right? So thankfully, I don't have to come up with something drama-filled to try to get attention. Well, I wouldn't do it, I have no interest in that. But much of what you see, what comes through your computer screen, look at the commercials or whatever it is, videos, it's another attempt to really grab your attention, right? Grab your attention. Look at the titles and the videos and TV shows and the clickbait. And there's just no end to it. So it's just a constant barrage, and so race problems, gender problems, all that stuff, it sells. It gets people's attention. When again, most people, we just don't have a big problem with most of that stuff. We just want to live and let live, and I think probably most of you fall under that category, right? So that's my little preaching for the week, and I'll shut up. Can I shoot a couple more slugs? Let's see if that was just a fluke that I hit the gong. Okay? Maybe I really didn't figure it out. All right. Hold low. Wow, I didn't see it hit, did you all? I could have left well enough alone, and you would have been so impressed that, wow, Hickok figured that out after one shot. What a genius. But nah, I don't want you thinking I'm a genius. Okay, we'll try a couple. I didn't see any dirt, so I actually might not have been low enough. I'll try a little bit lower. I will follow my own advice. Okay, I saw that one. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So at least I practiced what I preached. All right. Brought it down a lot lower, and I thought I saw it hit the dirt. And then the second one I brought up a little bit more, and I think I heard it hit. So, yeah, these are fun. They're just a real blast. And again, they come down so simply. Now, remember, virtually all guns have a striker, or they have a hammer, some kind, okay? Take this off. So when we say a shotgun is hammerless, or a handgun is hammerless, like the little Smith & Wessons or any manufacturer, where the hammer is concealed, you don't see it, like my little 642 that I love so dearly. Got a couple of them, actually. In fact, Smith has called their gun, the hammerless model, all that sort of thing. But they really just made no hammer on the outside, external hammer. Okay, you got to have a hammer, pretty much, and it hits it. It's all internal. Okay, so these things come apart, 3 pieces, clean so simply. It was really nice when I was shooting these with black powder cartridges, shells, in cowboy action shooting, to be able to take it apart and soak it and all that. So 12 gauge double barrel shotgun, you could do a lot worse even at home defense. If you're firing more than a couple of 12 gauge rounds, you've bought some problems. Some real problems have come to your house, and if two shots don't discourage them. What did Whispering Joe say? Just buy a shotgun and fire it in the air. That's not advisable. I hope you know that. I mean, 99% of you watching this would know that. Shooting in the air is not a good thing to do. You're not supposed to give warning shots and all that kind of thing, because you're responsible for everything that leaves that barrel and where it goes. A lot of people have been killed, rounds coming down, on top of them, okay? In cities where people go out on New Year's Eve or something and fire up into the air. What goes up must come down. So if you have one of these, this is a Stoeger. They seem, made in Brazil, they seem nice and solid. I have never had any trouble with this thing. You can just listen to that lockup. It's been used a lot. I put a lot of rounds through this black powder and otherwise. Now this, I know, this looks a little funky, right? I meant to mention that. Like, where did you get that butt pad, Hickok? Wow, that looks like somebody had a nightmare. And what in the world? Well, when I was using this for cowboy action shooting, I got my hands on some buffalo hide. This is buffalo hide on here. And I was trying to make my firearms look a little more Wild West, and I actually did this to if you've seen my 1873, it's a Uberti remake of the Winchester 1873. I used that extensively in cowboy action shooting, and I did kind of the same thing with it, and I should take it off, I guess, I don't know, but plus it added a little more padding. I think that I put another pad under it. I don't even know what's under it now. I think there's an added pad there for the length, but it feels great. The length is perfect. Now, I'm probably, when I do take it off, I'll have this part of the stock will be faded, and that'll be darker, or else it's all ruined or something. I don't know. Who cares? I like it. It's cool. If I like it, that's all that matters, right? So that's where that came from. I have to confess, I should have just made up a story. Yeah, I bought this. Some idiot did that. It looked pretty stupid, and I was afraid to take it off. No, I did that a long time ago. Back when I was younger and even dumber. Can I shoot it one more time? What have I got? We've got well, let's just put some birdshot in. I'll take out that 2-liter that has survived, and then maybe the other one on the cowboy. All right. Actually, we could use double-aught buck for that, couldn't we? Okay. I'm going to put the ears back on. 2-liter. Cowboy. Oh, man. Hit him hard. Oh, you know what? I just have a yen to shoot that bucket again with some bird shot. Now, when you're, I'm just messing around here, but shooting, I don't know if you can see, when you're doing cowboy action shooting, you want a belt holder to have like 4 or 6 shells maybe in it. And so you get these rounds out, you pull them out, and as you're doing that, you just pull these out of your belt, slip them in, and shoot again. All right, knocked him off there. So, all right. In cowboy action shooting, I truly did that for fun. I did win some matches, but I really honestly didn't care. When I was shooting IPSC, USPSA, I was very competitive and driven, kind of. It was new and enjoyed it and experimented with different guns and all that. But when I started doing cowboy action shooting, because these are the guns, probably my first love, lever guns and all that, and Colt single actions. I did it because I just love shooting those firearms, and I rarely cared. I started to say, even looked at the score sheet. I guess I always did, but by then it was online usually. But it just didn't matter. I just did that for the fun, and you try to do as well as you can. But the fun of that was just shooting these old guns and two Colts and Rugers and lever gun at those targets, and just having a day of fun with it was the big thing. And they went to black powder, Frontier cartridge, and so just fun to do. Yeah, not cheap, because you have to have several guns to even show up, unless you can get somebody to lend them to you, and people will do that. But you need a couple of handguns, a rifle, and a shotgun, and not everybody has those, so it keeps a lot of people from trying it. So. But anyway, a lot of fun and fun guns, no doubt about it. So I'm rambling too much, talking too much, so I'm going to let you go. We had a great week of guns. My gosh, I was writing down the things I've shot this week, and that we have videos we've done that you haven't seen yet, maybe, but like the Shield Plus, the Dan Wesson Guardian. You saw the little thing we did with it. We did the main video with that, and you'll see in that video when we post it that I think I remember from shooting it over here in Sunday shoot around that I was having trouble with the slide locking back, and I don't know how many mags I had for that, but in the video with it, the slide was just not locking back. Rarely did it lock back on any magazine. The Dan Wesson mags, ones that came with it, the Wilson mag, Wilson Combat mags, Ed Brown mags, the Nighthawk mag, whatever mags I had, it generally this was not locking back on an empty magazine my last round. And I called Dan Wesson, and I'm sending the gun to them in the morning, shipping it to them. They're really good. They're going to look at it and put maybe a new slide lock, whatever it needs, and all that. So see the 590, you'll see, you've already seen it probably, the 590 A1 SBS short barrel shotgun. Okay. Gosh, what else? Shot the high standard K1200 some this week. Speaking of shotguns, did armed in 1887 video you'll be seeing soon, and that was fun. That's why I had this out. And the 1887 Frontier 6-shooter, shot black powder, and shot the 1886, and just all kinds of cool guns this week. Everything from Class 3 to these things. So it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. And appreciate you all coming around and providing an audience for it. Right? Because I have noticed that whenever we're doing a video, some of you are there, and I'm not sure how you know when we're doing it, but it's cool that you are, because you seem to know and have questions, about the actual video. So you're there hiding somewhere, I guess, in the trees, and you're watching like you are right now. So I've rambled quite enough. I will let you go, and I don't know if you can see any difference this week or not, but after you get to this point, it doesn't change a lot, I guess. Just stays green and just gets warmer and warmer with more and more ticks in the woods, right? And then it'll start changing about, even August and September, you get some changes. Some leaves will dry up and start to fall, but we'll wait till that happens, right? Till we worry about that. So I hope you get a chance to shoot something this week, and I hope things are not going too poorly for you. I hope the gas shortage, you didn't have too rough a week. And so I understand the rulers on high now say that it might be okay to, if you're vaccinated or if you're immune, to go into a building now without a face covering of some sort. So that's good news, especially since I've been doing that a long time, and many of you have too. So I am very fortunate where I live. I was talking to a fellow owns a hardware store here just today about that. How we take for granted, speaking of taking things for granted, how normal our life has been for most of this time period. In the county where I live, in this area, you get out in rural America, whether it's groceries, gas stations, gun shops, hardware stores, people just have a lot of common sense, and you just you're able to breathe, and so that's what's so weird when you go like into I start to say Nashville, but even Clarksville, Tennessee, some different places, or you go into a big chain hardware store or something, and they act like it's like April of last year, or it's just weird. It's like going into California, really, in terms of the fear factor. So anyway, people not following the science, following too many politicians that don't know nothing, right? So I'll let you go, and it's been good having you out here in the woods with me today. If you could just shut me up sooner, things would be a lot better, wouldn't they? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll put the clicker in your hand so you can hit the record or not record or quit recording button. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Actually, you can. It's right there on your phone. It's right there on your computer. You have no excuse. You can click out anytime. Yeah? You have no excuse. That's why, thought I was gone. That's why it's hard, really. That is kind of why it's hard to justify or to understand people that just are so full of hate, like extreme trolls that just hate on people, so badly. And they do it to everybody, of course, just a matter of how many haters somebody has, which is directly proportionate to how many viewers you have usually. But that's what's so funny about the seriously sick trolls, Say, hey, guess what? You didn't have to express your hate. You could have pressed click and gone right back to the cartoon channel, or wherever it is you wanted to watch. But anyway, such is life, such is human nature. So I'm going to let you go because my nature is to talk too much. Life is good.